Hello and welcome everyone to another game from your host Psylocke. Today we are playing a game called Supreme Commander, Forged Alliance, and this is actually the Forged Alliance Forever mod I'm using. Well, not really a mod, it's more like a community game client tool thingy bob, who knows how to describe it. Anyway, we have a 1v1 in the north, as in the blue shorts we have Silene Undulata playing as the Aeon commander, currently constructing a tier 1 power generator. And in the south we have Wesh as a UEF commander, who's already got his land factory out. He's constructing a hydrocarbon. You can see his queues, almost removing the queue now. I want to really keep a close eye on what these players are doing, because I am a real noob at this game. I've been playing for a while. I love the game, but I'm just terrible at it, and I'm finding it hard to scale my skills a lot better. So, doing a few casts of some of these highly ranked players, see how they play. I'm very curious in their build order. So I play more Aeon than UEF, so I'm going to focus more on the north player for now and just keep an eye on what he's up to. And we can see he's cute. He built a land factory initially, getting his commander to assist on the hydrocarbon after building just one power generator and then a bunch of mixers. Interesting. Okay, now he's going to queue up a bunch of more land factories, and he's at this point he's 2 minutes in. He's already got 4 engineers on the battlefield. Not as many as I would have thought, actually. Interesting. He's actually held back on queuing up a ton of engineers to get that hydrocarbon out faster. Very good point. Okay, and he's actually built a number of other units here. He's built some light assault bots to do some harassment on his enemy's area. And he's building a few more by the looks of it, with the main commander unit building more power generators to assist these. Okay, hang on. One's an air factory, one's a land factory. Very interesting. So, for those of you who have not played this game before, this is a very old strategy game, but yet still actively played by many thousands of people every day. It is, here we go. It's a tier 1 medium tank ripping into these light assault bots. We'll handily destroy them. There we go. They all die. But it did force some kind of response, and there's one lone light assault bot, or lab as they're often known, which is no. Oh yes, it does kill that engineer just in time. In the meantime, we've got another attack run with some land scouts and light assault bots, harassing down the eastern side of the map. And they're going to encounter these medium tanks, which will quite handily destroy them, I think. There we go. And Wesh's commander's moving up to the middle. Well, Silene Undulata's commander is just moving out of base now, after having constructed 2 land factories and 1 air factory around the hydrocarbon. So yes, in this game there's 2 main resources. There is mass, which you collect by building these mass extractors, and then use power, which you collect by creating power generators. Mass extractors need to be built on mass points, certain positions available on the map, or by reclaiming the ruins of destroyed units, or by building mass fabricators. It's not very commonly used strat, because that's not as nearly as efficient as getting it through extractors. Who's going to win this duel? One light tank versus a medium tank, and these reinforcements take care of the medium tank. With a tier 1 attack bomber, Silene Undulata is able to pick off these units unoppressed, really. There's one interceptor coming in now, so relatively few air units, just a lot of tier 1 units. Wesh already has 4 land factories, building a few more. Land factory all the way up there. He's using the engineers to spam build more power generators. Air factories are notoriously power hungry, so building them nearby gives them the adjacency bonus. And here we see a land scout, a small force from Wesh has made it into Silene's base unopposed and is now free to harass and attack these undefended engineers. Well, they're not entirely undefended, but it's a spawn bomber is able to do some damage. I should really make more use of this ability to quickly snap into the map. And you can see that Silene's commander is perhaps unaware of these tanks ready to move into the flank. Mind you, tier 1 units are not used to being ACU. Let's see if I can toggle the visibility on Silene's commander. I'm quite new to casting this game, so I'm not really sure. Oh, there you go. Yes,
Commander under attack.
Visibility, so you did spot that potential ambush, but look, you can take a lot of damage. So not a huge threat right now. Switch back into observer mode. You can see units battling it out on all fronts at this stage. No clear sign of a winner. There is a resource icon somewhere. Okay, this is what you can see. Wesh is running a mass deficit, almost no mass, and Silene has much more mass coming in right now in terms of his consumption, but they're basically the same in terms of production. 25 mass points each, mass income per second. We've got a bit of an air battle going on with these interceptors dueling it out, and looks like Silene's won that one. So pull back with this one, interceptor. Interesting. Oh no, it's more reinforcements. So there we go. The middle mass points have been destroyed, so both sides are suffering at this point. And we don't see. Okay, here we see Silene's moving his ACU and potentially coming in for a flank against Wesh's ACU here. They are finally approaching the middle. Perhaps ready to have a bit of a duel. Wesh does have reinforcements coming in. Able to spend the time. I don't think the commander is upgraded at this point. Rebuilds that mass point, and then Silene turns away. So not a very exciting confrontation there. And in the east, you can see that Silene has been able, Wesh has been able to achieve air superiority with his tier 1 attack bombers. This one's 6 kills already, almost fit 1. And now is able to launch some harassments against his undefended light tanks with only one lone interceptor nearby, and also make that 2. But just as Wesh makes progress on the right hand side, he's losing on the left flank of tier 1 light tanks, making it around this hill up onto this plateau. He's able to probably take care of these engineers, I believe, and harass these units. But here we see a force of medium tanks all the way up behind the lines of Silene, able to get a good flank onto the base, rushing around to try to get a good opening on the base, but some units from Silene are chasing in. They're going to be able to turn the tide. At least whittle down these forces over here quite nicely. Oops, terrain in the way. No, come back. My camera's not stuck. There we go. That mass point is destroyed. However, yes, and interestingly enough, they're both on equal mass footing right now. Silene does have more power production. Otherwise, they are very similar in mass right now. You could say that Wesh has the advantage by being on the offensive in recent moments. These tier 1 air interceptors are only effective against other air units, so they're kind of pointless right now. Providing a bit of vision, you could say, some scouting. for Wesh, and without Silene having built any anti-gear units, it's not able to really clear them away. It's interesting too, at this point, let me do some quick checking on the tech. So at this point it looks like both players are still only on tier 1, despite being 10 minutes into the game, which is very different to the games I play against Aeon. We normally rushing to tick 2 or tick 3 seems like it's more important early on. Silene's leaving his commander. Not entirely inactive. It's picking off the odd tank. Again, the ACU's very within striking range. Look at, like, Wesh is just out of sight of Silene, but they're not quite ready for a confrontation at this point. Unless either of them have upgrades, they won't be able to force the victory. And both neither of them have enough veterancy. You can see it looks like Silene's ACU has just slightly more veterancy. Once you get to tier 1, you can bit 1 you can start to get increased health regeneration. Or is it just a flat upgrade on different stats? I think it's the latter. Okay, so again, more attacks coming through this left-hand plateau, and then cliff side, you could say. Just threatening Silene enough that he has to pull some units away from the front lines to deal with his flank, and leaving him vulnerable in the middle. So it does look like Silene is ceding some map control. You can see that in his mass income. He's now got an average of around 12 mass coming in, versus Wesh's 27 if we ignore small spikes for future reclaim and other effects. So mass is the most critical income, most critical resource, because you only get it from mainly from mass extractors, whereas power you can generate relatively more easily through more buildings in your base. So let's see how this game plays out. There's a huge army of tier 1 tanks mixed in with some land scouts vision. Just let me show you the vision what it's like. So, scout. Actually, it's not so much vision as the radar. You see that outer sort of aqua circle provides the radar range of that scout, which can be quite useful for getting the jump on the enemy. Meanwhile, we have another assault from Silene this time coming in down that left-hand side. We do have some point defences being built here with a very wall surrounded, so that we're able to force away these light tanks on damage. They may be able to take out this mass inspector. No, they keep running away. We're not able to pick that off. That's a little unfortunate. Down in the centre now, Wesh himself can't use his ACU. Both commanders pulling it out, and this time it's Silene taking the beating because his health going down so fast. Unable to finish it up with these tanks, but here's a big one just then. Whereas Wesh is not going to take up too much command yet. With Silene's reinforcements, we'll send back Wesh. I'll have his return. Question is whether these light tanks would be enough to come out of Wesh. When it does go down, it does take out a number of other light tanks on its way in. And it looks like yeah, it's not really conclusive battle at this point. Not high damage units. And Wesh is coming in with his own flank down the left-hand side. Again, it's going to get a force Silene to rotate and perhaps pull his commander back. Just look at that health regeneration at the bottom left. I'm looking right now to see Silene's commander looking to make more health. It's hard to tell. It's probably, I don't know if it's a big enough advantage. Let's keep coming in. And again, checking on the tech progress. Not really seen much. There's a whole lot of tier 1 power generators being built by Wesh base. Notice he is not building them adjacent to his factories. Very interesting. I guess that's a good way to prevent splash damage if one even get blown up by a rogue bomber from dealing cascading damage. And Wesh is also fortifying this position on the right hand side, which will make it tricky for Silene to come rushing in, and a tier 1 radar will be very useful too. Just check the range that radar provides. Okay, that's really good, so you can basically detect any advancing ambushes and respond accordingly. Which he's doing now by moving back and retreating. There's only a single lone point defense, so that could be overwhelmed, potentially. But so far, Silene is happy to stay out of range. We have a tanks kind of without the drive, to be honest. It's not really throwing them very well. Could be moving these away, and he's something very hard to say. In the meantime, he's busy microing these units in the middle by the looks of it. Forward of tier 1 using tanks. Putting the heat onto Silene Undulata's commander. And at this point, Wesh himself has a veterancy on one of his own ACU. But this close to his base, Silene will be able to see that. We'll deal with that. What is going on in Silene's base? He's building a different pattern. This time he is building his power generators adjacent to his factories to get that adjacency bonus. He's got a lot of engineers sitting around. Presumably these are set to assist these buildings, and some of them might be inactive. Can you see the queue building queue? Yes, I can. So he's just got a ton of. Oh, here we go. I did not notice that. So this land factory has been upgraded to tier 2, going to give him a significant force of tier 2 assault tanks, which are quite fast moving and quite high damage. Just as Wesh is upgrading his commander.
Commander under attack.
Oh, it's what? That's a really risky position. Well, I think it's quite risky. So when you're upgrading, you cannot move your commander. He's needing to use engineers to assist that, to make that upgrade complete faster. In the meantime, look, if Silene could spot that, she's got so many forces nearby. If he spots that upgrading ACU, he can easily send in his own tanks that will got to pick that up. Oh, here it is, it's been spotted. Will he respond in time? He's moving his units away towards that. Really interesting. To be fair, it's almost completed. He doesn't have much time left on that upgrade. And now that upgrade will actually do a lot more damage to Silene's forces. Just as Silene's bringing on his tier 2 tanks into the mix. Let's check if he's upgraded the commander. This is the ACU. Let's check the upgrade path. Nothing in the mid, left arm, and nothing on the right arm. So it's going to be upgraded. Let's see on Wesh's commander.
Under attack.
Fighting in the middle. It's about to get too really. He's got look at the range on that right now. He's got that Zephyr amplifier upgrade, increasing both the damage and range. There are other upgrades here on the base. Okay, so this is the map from a high level perspective. You'll see that in the mini map as well. Let's get a good people on the mini map. Okay, there we go. So, Wesh is able to push in quite deep towards the enemy's base, really. That great commander. Great to use it. He's mostly facing tier 1, so at this point Silene Undulata is not bringing his tier 2 assault tanks into the fray. And something that Wesh is not doing. Oh no, he's got a bit of reclaim with his engineer. This is actually quite an important thing to do. You can see his overall mass. I think this number on the left is his overall mass income. He's got quite a lot of mass in storage, and his income is kind of balancing quite well against his expenditure. So a little bit of deficit on power though. Needs more power. So yeah, Wesh has a tremendous amount of advantage right now with that income. And now that he's basically forced off Silene's forces from the centre, he can reclaim those ruins of burnt out medium tanks, light tanks. That's the power of this tier 2 assault tank. So you can rip into these tanks very easily, taking around to a little damage. It's really got nothing fighting it. So looking pretty dire for Silene. He is mixing in some anti-air units now into his land army, which is interesting. No anti-tank guns there. And his commander is being able to destroy these buildings on the right side. So up to bit 2 now. But against that, what can Silene really do? Difficult position. Literally the enemy at his gates is very up close. It's coming in. Fighters over here. Supported by tanks. Hey, I just noticed these tanks are very kind of similar to the Elephant tank destroyer from World War II. Even against a tier 2. Lights out the Silene. I don't know what he can do at this point. Yeah, I don't have any other factors upgraded in tier 2. Just the main HQ. Where's the building in space? Keep putting on that. Just getting out some assault tanks. I wonder if he'd mixed in some artillery to be able to pick off these units inside of them. Should have been missile launchers. Unless there's not to be. He's basically pinned in his base right now, look. And through all this, Silene can't really allow his commander to be scouted, because if he comes around this way, come in for a flank on this main army of Wesh, they could turn on him and cut him off. These units here as well. So that would be sort of, he has to come around the long way, come in through his own base, and then fight out towards the bay. But at this point, base is roads. Half of that kind of power to come. Being stuck in the small armies behind the lines of Wesh, and these do consist of a number of tier 2 assault tanks, which are quite strong. Tier 1 tanks of Wesh. Wesh have tier 1, tier 2? No. So it's basically tier 1 just tier 2, but numbers, every time they grow. Let's see if Silene finally brings his command into his base. Let's start fighting with it. He's doing his own gun upgrade. Yep, he needs that really. He doesn't have any sort of weapon upgrade on his ACU. He needs that very easily. And his forces gradually creeping in, destroying the mass extractors. And these heroic assault tanks went out in a blaze of glory. Final last charge against the enemy. Taking away their health now. Points left on those units. They have to pull back. Still getting bombed, no air support. There's 2 assault tanks on that. Sad news to a brave army. so when you're halfway complete, you don't have enough resources to assist that with his engineers. So at this point, Wesh doesn't know it, but he could just rush in with his lane units and overwhelm his opponent. He's kind of helpless in here. You know he's doing a speed upgrade. Very risky. Let's see what that looks like. So he's got he's got the enhanced quantum disruptor. That's the range, and now he's queuing up the
Commander under
quantum
attack.
accelerator as well. Yeah, see these units realise they're down close, so just march into the base. Which might use that Silene Undulata upgrade when they have 3 guys, but it's 15. Very good race. That third, that opponent's at the stage. Getting that soon to read. I'm just feeling it out. Range. Terrain getting away. Tanks swarming in. Wishes can Silene completely upgrade on his commander before he loses. 97, 98, 15, 99, and he completes the upgrade. Woo! And he's all awesome in full town. Can't even fight against the there you go, cool for GG. Alright, so what can I say about this game? I think that they were very balanced in the early game. No major mistakes, you could say. Perhaps I think Wesh took the advantage by being a little bit more aggressive, coming with the flanks, just constantly harassing his opponent because they slightly Undulata. Two goes to Wesh. Yeah, so. I didn't actually follow Silene's actions super closely as a to see exactly his build order and his play style, but I did get the feeling that he was a bit overwhelmed later on when he was having to defend against attacks on both the left and right hand sides of the map. Yeah. And just a small advantage in mass quickly led to more units, and at that point too, Silene went for a bit of a tech rush going into tier 2 with his land factory, but it is a pretty big investment to go for that upgrade, and then the units themselves take quite a long time to build from it. Can we see? No, it's destroyed. Whereas these tier 1 land factories can just pump out a ton of units quite quickly and keep pumping them out throughout the game. Yeah. Also good use of air units from both factions really, but obviously you can see here that Wesh had the dominance in the air and was able to use that to great effect to pick off those tier 2 assault tanks as we saw. You know, GG. Well played.